7 News, brought to you in part by Carl's Furniture, for everything you love about home.
Live from South Florida's news station, WSVN-7. This is 7 News at 5 o'clock.
Tonight, 7 News is following 3 big stories for you. A family is massacred in Miramar. Who could have killed 2 women and 2 children? A murder mystery inside this warehouse. 3 people found shot to death, execution style. And a shooting caught on tape tonight. Police may be closer to finding the gunman who shot this security guard. 3 big stories, and 7 News is covering every angle.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Rick Sanchez.
And I'm Kelly Mitchell. 8 victims, 3 different crime scenes.
It is a night of big news after a violent 24 hours in South Florida. First in Miramar, a family massacre. A woman is found dead along with her mother and her 2 little girls. 7's Lynn Gordon is live. She's at the scene and she's joining us now with the very latest, Lynn.
Rick, it is still a very active crime scene out here in Miramar. As you can see, the police tape is up all around the house. And just about an hour ago, that mobile crime scene lab unit from BSO showed up. Investigators inside, they are still collecting evidence from inside the house, searching for clues. But tonight, they are not the only ones searching for answers.
He killed his wife and used their life.
It was the last time George Altador would see his wife, Carmel, and 2 daughters alive. Just hours after he left for work, the 3, along with his mother-in-law, would be brutally murdered in their Miramar home. Altador's brother-in-law, Roshner Seraphin, and his 12-year-old son making the horrifying discovery late yesterday after Altador became concerned when no one answered the phone at his home. So Seraphin went to check things out.
My phone went in there. My God, my God. When I saw the baby in the crib, the little baby, the little infant in the crib, and the grandmother in the kitchen, face down, in a pool of blood, all I could do is to grab my phone and went to the neighbor's house to call the police.
What police would find inside the home, no one could imagine. 29-year-old Maria Carmel Altador was lying in a pool of blood. Also dead, her mother and the couple's 2 small children. 2-month-old Sabrina Altador was found in a bassinet. Police discovered her 3-year-old sister, Samantha, behind a couch in the living room.
My niece, the 2-year-old Samantha, sweetest little thing, just like the sister side.
The family seemed to have no enemies. Carmel worked as a Dade County School Board secretary. Her husband, a manager at an air conditioning business in Hialeah.
They were nice and kind to everyone, church-going and hardworking.
Late this afternoon, Carmel Altador's immediate family showed up at the Miramar Police Department looking for answers, something detectives themselves are still searching for.
The house seemed to be in good order. It seemed to be a home that was lived in, but very orderly and very clean. No signs of forcible entry, no signs of ransacking.
And as we come back out here live in Miramar, you see the flowers and the stuffed animals there. Some neighbors who didn't even know this family just came by a little while ago. They wanted to leave that there. This is really a tragedy that has touched everyone in this neighborhood. As far as the investigation is concerned, no suspect and no motive at this time, but we are expecting an update from the Miramar Police Department within the hour. As soon as we get any more information, we will bring it right to you. We are live in Miramar. I'm Lynn Gordon, 7 News.
And Lynn, we talked with people who worked with Maria Altador. They described her as the ideal employee. For the past 2 years, Altador worked as a secretary for the Dade County public school system, and her boss talked about the woman she knew.
She had 1 little girl, and she was in a maternity leave for her 2nd child. She had a little girl. She had a great family life. She has a husband, and they seem to be very happy people.
Altador was one of 10 people who worked in the news and information department for the school. Co-workers tell us that she was fluent in English, Spanish, and Creole. And we want to take you right now to another big crime scene. We are working tonight. 3 people are found dead in a West Dade warehouse. All these victims were killed execution style. 7's Craig Gropper live from the scene with details tonight. Craig?
Kelly, detectives are still collecting evidence here. There's still a lot going on. Let me tell you where I am. I'm just west of Miami International Airport in a warehouse district. The killings happened in the warehouse right behind me, sometime late last night or early this morning. From what we understand, the killings happened in a grisly manner. The victims were not only shot, they were also stabbed. 3 men found murdered in their place of business. Raul Del Castillo, the owner of Raul Distributors, his son Alberto, and Manny Morales, the man who rented office space in the building. According to friends, all of the victims were shot dead. Raul's hands were tied, his mouth was taped. Alberto was laying on his stomach.
There is just no reason imaginable to anyone here why this should have happened. None whatsoever. It makes no sense.
Those who knew the victims best converged here once they heard the news to share hugs and shed tears. They became worried about the men last night. All 3 were working late, but they didn't answer their phones or pagers. A family member came to the warehouse to see what was going on at about 3 in the morning. That's when the deceased were discovered.
I cannot imagine why that happened, man. It's sad, you know. It's very sad.
Detectives took pictures of tire tracks in a search for evidence. They also dusted the entrance for fingerprints. There's no sign of a forced entry, and nothing was stolen. People who work in this area say this couldn't have been a robbery. Robberies just don't happen here.
Never. Not in this area. Now we are 24 hours open.
The Del Castillos distributed electronics and appliances. Morales imported cigars from Central America. All the victims are remembered as hard-working businessmen, devoted to their families. Alberto Del Castillo's wife delivered their 2nd child just a few months ago.
They're very nice people, big heart. It's a shock to all of us.
Well, we told you the cops took pictures of tire tracks out here. They also took pictures of the sidewalk right in front of this building. Perhaps there were footprints out there, but that has not yet been confirmed. Cops are really tight-lipped about this one. They are not even talking about a motive yet. In West 8, I'm Craig Robber, 7 News. Thank you, Craig. There is another story making big news tonight. Police say they may be closing in on the suspects wanted in the shooting of a security guard at a Broward Mall. You are looking at the surveillance video you saw right here during yesterday's incident. Security guard Anthony Windus is still hospitalized at Broward General Medical Center. He was shot while trying to stop a shoplifting suspect outside the Sears. Now, that surveillance video is the best evidence the police have right now to try and track down their suspects. Coming up at 5:30, how does it work? And criminals on camera, how police are turning to surveillance tape more and more to solve these cases.
The man who killed 2 people during a legal deposition in downtown Fort Lauderdale could now be sentenced to death. Yesterday, a jury convicted Julio Mora of the 1994 massacre. After 9 hours of deliberations, Mora fired his attorney and gave his own closing argument. The penalty phase begins in mid-May.
After a year-long investigation, police say they have busted 3 people for running a multi-million-dollar marijuana operation. Police say they found potted plants in a warehouse located on West 19th Street in Hialeah. Officers say the warehouse had lights and an elaborate timing system where they were growing the marijuana.
Parents of JonBenet Ramsey say they didn't do it. Tonight they're talking. They're talking to the public after talking to police. For the first time yesterday, we have senior reporter Mark Leonard live for us in Boulder, Colorado with the story and what the Ramseys had to say. Mark?
Kelly, the Ramseys met with a small group of invited reporters at a secret location somewhere here in Boulder. Yesterday's day-long questioning by police was one of the areas off limits during the interview, an interview during which John and Patsy Ramsey proclaimed their innocence in the murder of their small child.
To those of you who may want to ask, let me address very directly, I did not kill my daughter, JonBenet.
But let me assure you that I did not kill JonBenet. I did not have anything to do with it. I love that child with my whole of my heart and soul.
The Ramseys said they didn't kill their 6-year-old daughter, and they expressed confidence whoever did kill JonBenet would be caught. For weeks now, the supermarket tabloids have kept public suspicion firmly fixed on the parents, especially Patsy Ramsey.
You know, at first we were shocked and then outraged, and then we understood statistically that's a sad state of affairs. That's apparently in the majority of cases like this in our country, family members or parents are ultimately involved. And so we accepted being suspects
The Ramseys said they had not been notified that they had been cleared. The local DA recently said the focus of the investigation is on them. In today's session with a small group of hand-picked news people, Mrs. Ramsey said she often talked with her late daughter.
We feel like God has a master plan for all of us, and that in the fullness of time, our family will be united again, and we will see JonBenet.
Patsy Ramsey said she had a message for the killer, quote, "God knows who you are, and we will find you." 4 days ago, the Ramseys took out an ad in a local newspaper offering $100,000 for information leading to the killer. We have a call in to the Boulder Police Department looking for a reaction to today's news conference. Mark Lunder, 7 News, reporting live from Boulder, Colorado.
Mark, did anybody ask them why it took them so long to grant police an interview?
Well, as you know, there had been negotiations ongoing. The Ramseys wanted certain conditions met. The police wanted certain conditions met. At one point, an interview with the police had been arranged, but on the FBI's advice, the police canceled that interview because of the conditions that were being set. The Ramseys indicated that they realized that sometimes this looked bad for them, that they had their reasons for proceeding as they did.
Mark Lubner, following that story for us from Denver, Colorado. Well, tonight, lawyers for the man that are accused of killing Bill Cosby's son have withdrawn from the case. They say the defendant's family couldn't afford to pay them. The judge then handed the case over to the public defender. An 18-year-old Ukrainian immigrant is accused of shooting Ennis Cosby on an L.A. highway in January. Yesterday, on CNN's Larry King Live, Bill Cosby talked about his son's murder.
God did not call anyone. God doesn't call somebody with a bullet to the head. And God doesn't do that. Now, what happens is the fellow or the person, whoever it is who killed him, was riding with Satan.
In another development, USA Today is reporting tonight that court documents say the suspect was with two friends who witnessed the shooting.
A lot more from the Newsplex headed your way tonight. It is now being called a full-fledged epidemic, but this is no new drug we're talking about, and it's coming back with a vengeance. Users are hooked and fast and all cranked up. It's coming up in tonight's edition of 7 News Report.
In HealthCast, a tip to shed pounds without suffering.
Can you actually help your old child become a millionaire? You're going to see this one coming up.
And I'm Patrick Frazier. We can't make you a millionaire, but you may have a few $1,000s coming to you, so let's show you the money. These are the names of some of the people who have part of that $400 million fund owed to them. As we've shown you this week, nearly 1 million South Floridians have money in that account. Money from banks, insurance companies, safety deposit boxes, and on and on. And tonight at 6, we will tell you how you can make money even if your name is not on the list. If your name isn't on the screen now, we have the list of South Floridians who are owed money. Give us a call or head to our homepage on your computer. And by the way, we have been getting what is estimated to be 20,000 phone calls at a time. Obviously, it will take time to get to you, so please be patient. We'll be here all night. See you then.
Now, time for a 7 Video Sports Update.
I'm Deuces Rogers. The Heat hope to move on to the next round of the NBA playoffs tonight as they take on the Orlando Magic in Game 4. Miami with a clear advantage in the middle. The Magic will be without Horace Grant and Ronnie Cycli. Other NBA news, Sixers guard Allen Iverson named Rookie of the Year this afternoon. Of the possible 115 votes, Iverson receives 44. Minnesota's Stephon Marbury finished second with 35. Some bad news for the Marlins. Not only did they lose last night's game in St. Louis, starting pitcher Al Leiter was sent back to Miami to reevaluate a right knee sprain. However, he is still scheduled to pitch again next Monday against the Pirates. I'm Deuces Rogers, 7 Video Sports.
7 News, brought to you in part by Mullinax Ford, your one-price volume discounter, and by Carl's Furniture, for everything you love about home.
At Mullinax Ford in Margate, it only takes $5 down to put you in the driver's seat of a brand new Ranger XLT for just $208 a month. That's right, just $5 down, and you're driving a 97 Ranger pickup with cast aluminum wheels, air conditioning, AM/FM stereo with CD player, sliding rear window, and much, much more. Yours on a 2-year lease for just $208 a month after a down payment of only $5. Shop the largest selection of Rangers in the Southeast and choose the color you want for just $5 down at Mullinax Ford South in Margate.
Good day, furniture buyer. Your mission is to save thousands of dollars during Carl's Furniture Impossible Sale. Your assignment, should you decide to accept, is to buy Bernhardt at half price. Buy one piece, get the second half price. It's unbelievable. It's unheard of. It sounds impossible, but it's true. You only have a few hours to accomplish this spectacular money-saving mission at Carl's Impossible Sale. Good luck.
Can you help your kids make $1 million? The story in tonight's 7 News reports.
Here in the outback, you can't take anything for granted.
You did remember how I love onions, didn't you?
Even a simple meal can be an adventure.
That's the thing. What's up the bloomin' onion?
At Outback Steakhouse, you get all the mood of the Outback with none of the inconvenience.
Roger. Dessert?
Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Fox May event. Tonight, the wildest comedy on television is slamming to an end.
All about the blow.
It's the Martin you can't miss, and all the stars are out.
I just say, woo woo.
So say goodbye. It's the final, the very last episode of Martin. A 1-hour special tonight at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
Fox main event. A 10-year-old girl is killed. Was it an accident or murder?
Where were you when she fell?
Where were you?
An all-new New York Undercover tonight.
Now, live from the 7 Health Center, here's HealthCast with Marilyn Mitchell.
Good evening, everyone. We've got a little tip to help you control your appetite. Also a discovery that could lead to a cure for diabetes. And an experimental treatment for hepatitis C looks very promising. These stories and more in today's HealthCast. Nicholas Julian got hepatitis C from a blood transfusion back in 1980 during open heart surgery. Standard interferon treatments, which help fight the virus, didn't work for Nicholas.
How's that?
Good. That's why doctors are trying an experimental treatment called iron reduction therapy.
We generally take 1 pint of blood every week or two, and we continue until the patient develops a mild degree of anemia.
Too much iron in the body can be toxic to the immune system. When doctors remove it and try the interferon therapy again, hepatitis C appears to improve.
The preliminary data indicate that people that have iron removal will have an improved cure rate.
So far, it's working for Nicholas. Trying to lose weight? Start your meal with a low-fat salad or vegetable soup. Fiber-rich foods such as these suppress your appetite, so you'll eat less of the main course. Finally, some good news about teenagers. A new government survey reveals that American teens are having less sex. This is the first decline since the survey started 25 years ago. It also finds that teens are becoming more sexually responsible. More young people are using birth control, especially condoms. Researchers have pinpointed a gene that might lead to a new way to treat diabetes. The gene helps produce insulin in the body. If scientists can figure out how to jumpstart that gene, they may be able to reverse diabetes as they already have in lab animals.
If you could rejuvenate your pancreas to make new islets capable of secreting insulin, you could cure diabetes. We certainly have done that in animals.
Researchers hope to do the same in people. However, keep in mind a lot of research must be done yet. Experts say they're at least 5 years away from this treatment becoming reality. We'll update you along the way. That's HealthCast. I'm Marilyn Mitchell, 7 News. We've just received information from the Miramar crime scene that they now know how all these 4 people died. We're talking about a mother, her daughter, and that daughter's 2 daughters here.
Yeah, and Lynn Gordon is standing by. We should be able to go to her as soon as we come back from this break. Other stories that we're going to be following for you tonight. Oh, there she blows, a fire hydrant going berserk on a California street.
You saw this one play out on 7 News yesterday. Tonight, a look at how these high-tech surveillance cameras can really be the latest tool in the war on crime. We'll be back.
7 News brought to you in part by Hialeah Racetrack Super Season 97.
What a beautiful way to spend the day at classic Hialeah Park. The tradition continues. Great thoroughbred racing at historic Hialeah Park. The colors, the pageantry, the excitement, a wide array of food. It all starts at 1:50. So what are you waiting for? Head for Hialeah and get racing.
The only place in South Florida to bet and see the Kentucky Derby, Hialeah Park.
I love this song. What station is that? Coast, 97.3 FM.
Great song. What station is that? It's Coast 97.3 FM.
I love this song.
Me too. What station is that?
Ever wonder what radio station you're listening to? For the most music throughout your workday, listen to South Florida's Coast 97.3 FM. The best mix of the 80s, 90s, and today with less talk.
Tonight's the series finale of Martin, so what's Tisha Campbell gonna do now? I'm Belkey Jeray. Find out what's next for Tisha tonight on Deco Drive Live at 7:30.
Hey everybody, I'm Deco's Gwen Martinez.
And I'm Belkey Jeray.
We're going on the road, Lincoln Road.
To the Taste of the Beach.
Try food from Miami's best restaurant.
And live it up with live entertainment.
It's the place to be May 3rd and 4th.
So we'll see you at the Taste of the Beach.
Brought to you by WSVN, Deco Drive, and B sponsors.
News doesn't stop overnight, and neither does the 7 News Flash.
We're busy pulling together the stories you'll see every morning on Today in Florida. It means rushing to the scene of breaking news to let you know just what's happening, no matter where it happens.
Plus, we'll always give you your first look at today's weather and traffic.
Aggressive news coverage from the station that knows how to get the job done. 7 News, Today in Florida, every morning, beginning at 6.
Only on the news station.
7 News.
We have information that police have just concluded a news conference with reporters. One piece of information possibly getting out now is the cause of death in Miramar.
We have a team of reporters working this story, and this time Craig Stevens will fill us in on this angle. Craig?
Kelly, there had been some suspicion that all of the people in this home had not been shot. The medical examiner in Broward County now confirming that is indeed the case. Some interesting information to tell you about now that the autopsies have been completed, and we can tell you a little more about how these victims died. To begin with, the grandmother who had been at the house at the time, in her late 60s, suffered blunt head trauma and a single fatal gunshot wound. We're told the 29-year-old young mother, Marie Altador, suffered blunt head trauma, cut, and she, we're told, had been shot a number of times. The 2 children, 2-year-old Samantha, blunt head wounds, blunt trauma. The 2-month-old girl named Sabrina, blunt trauma. Essentially, the 2 children were beaten to death. So 2 of the 4 people in this home had been shot. As you can see, the crime scene is still active. The Broward County Sheriff's crime lab is still trying to figure out exactly what happened and who is responsible for this. Lynn Gordon will be along with the very latest on the investigation, that part of the story a little bit later on.
They didn't let anything...
Miramar, Craig Stevens, 7 News.
Craig, they didn't let anything out about whether they're looking for more than one person in this particular crime?
Haven't been able to tell us any of that yet. They did tell us, again, as they told us yesterday, no sign of forced entry. The inside of the home appeared to be in order, everything well kept. It hadn't been ransacked. So at this point, it looks as though we, at least, have a mystery we're working with here.
All right, we got Craig Stevens. We also have other crews following that story. If there's any information, we'll get you back there. Right now, let's go to weather.
Now, time for 7 weather with Bill Kamal.
A very sticky 83 degrees outside. There have been some showers and a couple of thunderstorms near Homestead, Florida City. Moving across South Dade, one little one, looks like on the Broward-Dade line. They'll be diminishing during the evening hours. What we have is high pressure to the north, 2 big storms to talk about, but we're far to the south of all the action until possibly later on in the weekend. We have some moisture here that created a couple of showers. Big weekend coming up, and we will have a lot of sunshine tomorrow, UV 12 on a scale of 15. The weekend, maybe a chance of showers and storms. Warm and humid tonight, 74. Tomorrow, partly sunny. Warm and humid, don't rule out an afternoon thunderstorm again, 87. Light winds becoming that sea breeze. Surf is up to 80. A better chance of storms, especially late in the weekend, and very warm, not as warm on Monday. Kelly.
All right, Bill, thank you very much. Tonight, we have a million reasons why you should start planning your children's financial future now. It's a very simple strategy, and it could actually make your child a millionaire when he or she gets older. 7's Olga Bachacci shows us how in tonight's 7 News Report.
Sophie is a princess.
She likes everything top quality, very expensive. She's not going to settle for a life on a budget.
She's 4 years old and already planning to have lots of money.
And what are you going to do with all that money?
Get a car.
Sophie's big dreams require a big budget, so her parents are planning ahead. For one, they're prepaying for Sophie's college tuition.
I try to show her that if she studies and is a good girl and everything, that she's going to get a lot of the things that she wants. And she sees how hard we work.
Experts say there are many steps parents can take to improve their kids' financial future. First, start early and teach your children the relationship between chores and money. Encourage them to save part of their allowance. Open up a bank account and explain interest rates. Most important, be a role model.
If they see you spending out of control, they will spend out of control. If they see you systematically saving and investing, they will develop the good habits. It's really a mirror of yourself.
Historically, our society has been a spending society. Our generation has been very good at it. But now it's changing into a more savings-oriented society, and kids in school are learning the value of money.
Many schools like Miami Lakes Elementary teach students about the stock market through the computer using simulated transactions. In 1 year, this third grader has made more than $1,000.
It went up from the price that we bought it at 6, and then it went up to 8, almost 9, and then it started dropping down.
You see the stocks go up and down, learn how the stock market works.
Do you ever go home and teach your parents and talk to them about this?
Yeah, they always ask us questions.
For parents who want to invest for their kids, here are 3 options. If you invest in an aggressive mutual fund and start as soon as your child is born, with $330 a month, you could make your kid a millionaire in 25 years. High-yielding corporate bonds could make him a millionaire in 35 years, versus a CD with no risk in 50 years. Experts say no matter how little or how much you invest, time is your friend, and now's the time for all kids to learn about managing and making money.
It's part of being a kid in the 90s. It would be like sending your child to school without knowledge or use of a computer. No parent wants to do that, nor should they rob children of the experience of learning about investment vehicles. It's tantamount to their future financial health.
For kids like Sophie who want it all, financial knowledge could be worth millions. Olga Bitachi, 7 News.
Sophie probably wants a new doll. That's about it. Next on the news, like a new killer drug getting people cranked up, and many say this could turn into an epidemic. A special 7 News report you may need to watch.
And we're still on top of these big stories tonight. The family massacred in Miramar. Who could kill 2 children, their mother and their grandmother?
Also back at the scene, West Bay, 3 people found murdered execution style in a warehouse. Our Team 7 coverage continues.
7 News brought to you in part by Estrella Insurance. For low-price auto insurance, look for the star.
Hello, I'm here to introduce to you Estrella Auto Insurance. This symbol is called a logo. The solid geometric shape represents 18 years of dependable service. Green is symbolic of the friendly service you'll receive at any of our convenient locations. These stars are what you might see if you don't have good insurance. However, this star represents Estrella, where you can buy good, reliable insurance at an affordable price. Give yourself a break. Call us today.
Hunt and Hines were back with a fast hand from KC to see which sauce would win the test. Bullseye. Bullseye. No contest. Folks say Bullseye tastes the best.
You're the best, big guy.
Big bold Bullseye tastes the best.
Greetings from the future, where everything we use works better. That's my mom and dad. Moisturizer works better. But there's one thing we use that you can use. A wireless phone from Primeco. The static and interference you guys put up with? Not a problem. And when we order pizza, yeah, with extra cheese. If it doesn't come in 3 seconds, free. 3, 2, 2.
Primeco. Someday, everything will work this well.
Woke up this morning, dragged myself out of bed. Went on into the kitchen, my fridge was dead. Got my chef dirty laundry. Went down to my machine.
the cure for your blues with no interest financing until 1998 on all appliances this week at Best Buy.
At Pep Boys, get hitches from $29.99. No matter what you tow, we can install everything. So get hitched today. Call 888-PRO-HITCH.
Recently, the in-laws dropped in for dinner again. So I left a message for my husband to bring home an extra chicken.
The Boston Market extra chicken for $1 deal. Just buy a family meal and get an extra chicken for $1.
Don't mess with dinner.
Emptiness. How can I fill this emptiness?
It's not tricky. Eat something. Like the $4 Turkey Melt BLT combo. $4 for a fresh, hot, hand-carved Turkey Melt BLT side and drink. Only at Boston Market.
That is 7 News at 5 o'clock.
Now we go to the Newsplex and Lynn Martinez to see what you'll see on 7 News at 5:30 tonight. Lynn?
Kelly and Rick, coming up next on 7 News, police may be very close to an arrest for the shooting of a security guard at a Broward Mall. We'll have a live report. Also, see how those surveillance cameras are becoming a great tool for nabbing criminals. An old drug making a new comeback on the streets of South Florida. We investigate in a 7 News report. Explosive discoveries in 2 different states. And the Fort Lauderdale Air and Sea Show is less than 48 hours away. We'll have a live report on how you should get there and what you can do once you do get there. These stories and more when Ted Duganey joins me in 1 minute with 7 News at 5:30.
7 News, brought to you in part by Mazda and by De Beers. A diamond is forever.
The 97 Mazda 626LX Special Edition. Lease for $229. Add rich leather and the lease goes to. Add air and a silky automatic and the lease cruises to. Add power everything and the lease rolls to. Add the best basic warranty in its class and you get the idea. Lease or buy for $17,895.
The last time we were here was when I proposed. 10 years. It seems like only yesterday. I told you then how much I loved you, and nothing's changed.
The Diamond Anniversary Band. On your 10th, show her you'd marry her all over again.
Live from South Florida's news station, WSVN-7. This is 7 News at 5:30.
Police could be very close to making an arrest for the shooting at the Broward Mall. A surveillance camera capturing the whole thing there as a security guard is shot several times. Good evening, everyone. We are learning tonight the suspects involved may have traveled all the way from Dade to Broward County for their crime.
Cops are counting on the surveillance tape that you just saw to help them crack the case. Our Team 7 coverage begins in Fort Lauderdale with 7's John Turchin. He is live at Broward General Medical Center where the security guard is recovering. John?
Well, Pam, he is conscious. He is aware of what is going on right now, though he is sedated and unable to talk. He has made it through the first 24 hours, but the next 24 to 48 are critical to his recovery. As for his injuries, as you are about to hear from some of the surgeons, they are serious, but at this point they appear to be not life-threatening.
The entry would be right about here. This is the soft tissues of the neck. The neck is here.
Where does it lodge?
And then it rises right up to here, and if you get a good close view of it, you can see the fragments of the shell right up here.
27-year-old Anthony Wins took 2 bullets, one to the neck, the other to the stomach.
These are large caliber bullets. They're 38 or 9 millimeters. I really can't be sure, but they look like 38. He has a full slug in them on both of them, not just fragments, shell casings.
If they would interfere in the normal bodily functions of the patient, we may remove them. Otherwise, they just have some scar tissue come over them and they're left alone and nothing actually happens.
Wins was rushed into the emergency room just minutes after he tried to stop a couple of shoplifters from getting away. A security camera at the Sears in the Broward Mall captures the suspect, first inside, then outside. That's when Wins, a 10-year employee of Sears, confronted them. The man opens fire, firing off 5 shots, hitting Wins twice, then running to a waiting car and taking off.
I think generally the public is a little concerned at the fact that this happened in broad daylight over such an insignificant item like a razor. These people are going out there and they have no regard for human life, and over a razor, he went ahead and withdrew a pistol and fired 5 shots at somebody.
As for the investigation, detectives have received hundreds of calls. They are working several leads right now. In fact, they tell us they are very optimistic they will make an arrest soon. Of course, we'll bring that to you. Now, coming up at 6 o'clock, you will meet the family of Anthony Wins. We spoke with them exclusively just a little while ago. I'm John Thurston in Fort Lauderdale.
Thank you very much, John. The drama of yesterday's mall shooting unfolding on camera clear as day. In fact, it is the best evidence police have right now. But more and more law enforcement officials are turning to cameras to help solve their cases. Team 7 coverage now continues with 7's Carlos Bain.
Shoplifters and pickpockets caught on security cameras. Violence unfolding at the Broward Mall Wednesday afternoon, all caught on tape. Cops believe it highlights the need for security cameras at every possible angle in public shopping areas.
In this case, the video was excellent and it helped a great deal, and the media helped by getting it out to the public right away.
For cops, the security cameras have become a valuable tool in identifying suspects.
Whenever we get some video, of course, if it's excellent quality like these last 2 that you mentioned, it helps us in putting it out on the news, and when the public sees that it's easily identifiable.
The quality of the pictures at the Broward Mall will help investigators have clear, precise images of the suspects they're tracking down. In this case, the security camera worked as the eyes of a witness. It's a welcome sign for shoppers to see a security camera on the outside of a store. It makes them feel as if the store is taking their security very seriously, and it makes them feel a lot safer as they get out of their cars and go into the store. The security systems at the Broward Mall Sears is built by Sensormatic, a Boca Raton-based firm. Sensormatic officials say the quality of electronic security will only continue to get better in helping tracking down suspects.
The quality of the image is everything, and in fact, one of the things you'll see happening as the years roll by here, more and more movement to color for even that reason, because you just get the color of the shirt, color of the pants.
The videotaped evidence of the Broward Mall shooting and the tips cops have received are signs of proof that high-tech surveillance is a tool the public wants to be able to depend on. In Fort Lauderdale, Carlos Bain, 7 News.
People in the security business say last year alone, shoplifters stole $11 billion worth of goods.
Hialeah police say after trailing a suspicious man, they find stacks and stacks of cash. Cops stumbled upon the large sum of money at the Santa Fe Apartments on West 76th Street in Hialeah last night. The man they were following took off. Just how much money was inside is unknown. Police are trying to determine whether the cash is related to a big drug bust at a Hialeah warehouse last night.
Police in Orlando say they have identified the suspect involved in a hotel attack near Universal Studios. 25-year-old James Hartsock is accused of killing a man, then raping a woman. The rape victim, a 26-year-old woman from Coral Springs, identified Hartsock from police photos. The victim says Hartsock hit her friend with a pipe, then raped her. Police say Hartsock has a history of criminal activity, including attempted murder and assault.
Tonight, 2 explosive discoveries. In New York, a homemade bomb blows off part of a man's hand. It happened in an apartment building in the Bronx. Police say the place was rigged with devices and that the man may have tripped one of his own booby traps set to injure or kill intruders. The man apparently has a history of drug and weapons charges. No one else was injured in the blast.
Just days after a Freeman militia member is seriously injured in an explosion at his home, a powerful stash of explosives is seized from a motorhome of 2 of his associates. Police uncovered about 500 pounds of explosives and 2 cases of blasting caps. The ammo had the power to level an area as large as 3 blocks. The 2 other men who live in that home are now being questioned by police.
Talks are back on in Texas with that armed separatist group, and so is the electricity. At one point, authorities talked of cutting off power to the compound of the group known as the Republic of Texas. But they say as long as their leader keeps talking to authorities, it will remain on. The standoff is now in its 5th day.
Timothy McVeigh's alleged search for bomb-making materials topping today's testimony in the Oklahoma bombing trial. McVeigh's second cousin and high school friend testified that McVeigh read books on how to make powerful bombs. McVeigh, of course, is on trial for the 1995 bombing where 168 people were killed. If convicted, he could get the death penalty.
Railway service is back to normal tonight after more than 20,000 gallons of hydrochloric acid spills from a railroad tanker. This happening early this morning in Maryland. A chemical cloud hovered over most of the contaminated area. No evacuations were ordered because the wind wasn't strong enough, authorities say, to send that cloud to surrounding homes.
A gushing fire hydrant in Southern California makes for one big sight and a huge mess. A geyser of water shot nearly 200 feet into the air yesterday. Crews worked most of the afternoon to cap off that leak. And still, today, no one knows what forced the hydrant to blow.
Illinois, people there are cleaning up after severe storms swept through the state. Tornadoes ripped the roof off of homes, and strong winds downed trees and power lines in several areas. Fortunately, no one was injured.
That same storm system hitting near St. Louis as well. Heavy winds tore the roof off this mobile home, and we are told the family had just finished remodeling the day before. Right now, though, crews are busy repairing the damage all throughout the area.
In Canada, more evacuations and more sandbags as rising floodwaters seep through makeshift barriers. Crews are working overtime, reinforcing the dikes, and volunteers continue laying down sandbags in hopes of blocking the water from the rising Red River.
We have got a lot more to cover tonight on 7 News. Coming up, family members say unanswered telephone calls worried them. Those concerns led to a gruesome discovery at a warehouse in West Dade. This one coming to you at 6.
An illegal drug with nasty effects is hitting the streets of South Florida. We investigate in a 7 News report.
And nearly 1 million people are expected at Fort Lauderdale Beach for this weekend's Air and Sea show. We'll have a sneak peek when we come back.
Now, time for a 7 Video Sports Update.
I'm Deuces Rogers. Can the Heat close it out tonight? It's Game 4 in Orlando, and to win, the Heat need to contain Penny Hardaway and the rest of the Magic Guards. We're live in the arena at 6 o'clock. Over 51,000 soccer fans packed the Orange Bowl last night to watch Brazil and Mexico play in an exhibition game. Brazil's Romario overpowered Mexico single-handedly with a hat trick. The defending world champions won 4-0. The Marlins in St. Louis today trying to break out of an 8-game losing streak. Alex Fernandez pitching, but he doesn't have much success. He gives up a couple runs in the bottom of the first. The Marlins go on to lose 3-2. I'm Deuces Rogers, 7 Video Sports.
7 News brought to you in part by Rooms to Go. Find bigger selection and lower prices every day. And by Publix Supermarkets. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
$6.99. The one low price at Rooms to Go. Just $699 buys you anything you're about to see. Only $6.99 for these incredible sofa and love seat sets. Choose this 7-piece contemporary bedroom, this Southwest bedroom, or this 18th century cherry bedroom, this traditional cherry dining set, or this whitewashed wall unit. Your choice, $6.99. The one low price. $6.99. $6.99. $6.99 days at Rooms to Go. Now through Wednesday. Don't miss it.
Well, every day's the same old thing. Get up, come to work, check the breakers, eat a sandwich.
I totally missed the fun.
I mean, I'm pretty much a white bread person.
White bread. He had no sense of creativity.
Have you ever tried anything different?
He resisted it at first.
Pumpernickel.
We bake all kinds of bread.
Well,
Onion, raisin,
pumpernickel raisin, whole wheat,
Jewish rye.
White Mountain
You
rolls.
name it, we got it.
Great. Gotta change my lunch a little bit.
We developed this friendship.
Yeah, I trust her now. Hey, what do you got for me today?
I'm going to suggest we toast it.
Toast is not a good word around here.
In all great meals, the main ingredient is Publix.
Coming up on 7 News, a new illegal drug is cranking its way into Florida. The story in a special 7 News report.
Planning your summer vacation? Taking a new Toyota Camry is the way to go. The perfect family vehicle for perfect family fun. Camry pre-summer leases start at $239 a month. $239 a month with features like anti-lock brakes, power package, and more. If you're going to heat things up this summer, better get to your Toyota dealer now during Toyota's summer sales event.
Carrots plucked from the good earth, tomatoes ripe off the vine, and the dressing, not one that's been all bottled up. A salad this fresh needs good seasons. You make it fresh. Good Seasons Italian.
Imagine being beaten by your husband. But what would happen if that fear for your life led you to try and kill him? And how one family has brought light into the lives of kids who live in darkness.
Inside Edition, tonight at 7 on 7.
Drugs have has been a part of our culture for decades. We have dealt with pot, acid, cocaine, heroin, and crack.
But now crack has some heavy competition on the streets. It is getting people cranked up and messed up. Kim Morris has tonight's edition of 7 News Reports.
All the problems that we saw associated with the crack cocaine epidemic, we've seen with crank and methamphetamine abuse.
Call it what you want. Crystal meth, zip, speed, ice, crank. It's big in California. It's even a major problem for police in the small town of Fargo, North Dakota. For some abusers in Atlanta, Georgia, it's replacing crack as the drug of choice. And in Florida, trouble is traveling down the coast.
From Tampa to Naples, there's a methamphetamine epidemic underway right now.
Crank is a methamphetamine that has effects on the brain similar to crack cocaine. It's highly addictive and dangerous. Ira Weiner knows.
I decided that I was going to try and rob a store.
He's getting help through Spectrum Programs, one of the oldest and largest treatment centers in South Florida. For him, the effects of crank are all too clear.
I would be sweating profusely from the drug. I would not be able to stand in one spot for more than a few seconds at a time. I would actually start selling my belongings.
He's not alone. More than half the respondents in a 1988 study who used both crank and cocaine say crank, a synthetic drug, is worse. One person recounting episodes of playing cards with people who weren't even there. Others went through something called formication, feeling like things were crawling on them. And what did they do?
Literally had picked away parts of their face and parts of their arms and hands, backs of their hands, of the skin, because they had this paranoid delusionary effect.
Law enforcement in South Florida would have an even tougher time if crank were to grow here the same way it has in other places. The question is, what's held it back? The cocaine traffickers' intimidation down here, which has ensured that their drug will continue to be the one. But what if crank, which is relatively cheap and easy to make, were to begin showing up in larger quantities down here?
It's hard to say what the effects will be, but I'm not willing and ready to see it.
Talk to Louis Caggiano. He knows about crank.
I had a very paranoia feeling.
And he says using crank or any other drug costs much more than the price of any one hit.
I had my own business. Drugs had taken that away from me. Drugs have taken my self-esteem away.
And Louis and Ira and others who know say it can take more.
It killed in the 60s, it killed in the 70s, it killed in the 80s, and it's killing even more in the 90s.
For 7 News Reports, I'm Kim Morris.
And it does get worse. Those studying crank say America is on the verge of a national epidemic.
Still to come tonight from the 7 Newsplex, police find 3 men shot execution style at a warehouse in West Dade. A live report coming up at 6.
Also tonight, can a suntan, any suntan, be safe? We'll find out the tanning truth and a 7 News special Sun report.
And straight ahead, the sky and sea will be rocking on Fort Lauderdale Beach this weekend. In just 2 minutes, a preview of the Air and Sea Show. Stay with us.
Classic Bingo is back from the Florida Lottery. 12 easy ways to win on every ticket. You could even win up to $10,000 instantly. It's the game you've been asking for. And remember, the sooner you play bingo, the sooner Agnes won't.
Lose the buzz.
Ah. You okay? Your backhand was a little...
It's his elbow.
I have Advil right here.
I tried this.
Aleve? Did you see the dosing restrictions for people over 65?
Uh-uh.
You can't take more for hours, even if your arthritis pain comes back.
It's back. Now I know why my doctor recommends Advil. Next time, and you'll be buying lunch.
You're on.
Nothing is proven to work better or last longer than Advil.
Mobile presents the fastest way ever invented to get gas. Mobile Speed Pass. Just wave this key tag at your pump and it automatically bills your credit card of choice. Imagine if everything worked that fast. Speed Pass is easy, it's free, and It's only at Mobile. So now friendly service even faster. Mobile Speed Pass, the fastest way to get gas.
Fox May event. Tonight, the wildest comedy on television is slamming to an end.
How about the blow up?
It's the Martin you can't miss, and all the stars are out.
I just say, woo woo.
So say goodbye. It's the final, the very last episode of Martin. A 1-hour special tonight at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
Fox main events. A 10-year-old girl is killed. Was it an accident or murder?
Where were you when she fell?
Where were you?
An all-new New York Undercover tonight.
Nearly 1 million people are expected to descend on Fort Lauderdale Beach this weekend.
Yeah, it's not just the sun, surf, and the sand attracted them to the shore. It is the annual Air and Sea Show. It is the main event, of course, in 7's Juan Mendieta now joins us live from Fort Lauderdale with a preview of what we can expect to see. Juan?
That's right, Lynn. I am at the tarmac at the Jet Center at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. Behind me, the Thunderbirds, and we're told that the Bees are. John Van Beesbrook took a ride a short time ago, but he didn't take his hockey mask. But anyways, this weekend, the staging area will be here where all the jets take off from, also marking the 50th anniversary of the U.S. Air Force. Organizers tell us that from land and sea, they have everything taken care of. It's the roar of jets and the thunder of boats reverberating once again in Fort Lauderdale.
Well, it's a family-oriented, patriotic event. It is something for everyone. It's free to the public. Sort of a chance for everyone to wrap themselves in the American flag.
Old Glory, faithful or not, the event is an opportunity to see for ourselves what our tax dollars pay for. Billion-dollar jets like the stealth bomber, the ever-popular Thunderbirds, and a series of marine vessels like powerboats and even a human-powered submarine.
A tremendous impact for us. First of all, we're very proud to host the show and showcase our community and show people how proud we are. But on the other hand, the economic benefits are tremendous. All of our hotels are filling up.
The upside, crowded hotels. The downside, crowded streets. A1A will be shut down from Sunrise to Harbor Drive, and Sunrise will be shut down from Bayview to the beach. Well, Fort Lauderdale Beach is pretty empty right now, but all that's going to change this weekend. Organizers of the Shell Air and Sea Show expect nearly 2.5 million people to crowd this beach on a 3-mile stretch between Los Olas Boulevard on the south and Oakland Park Boulevard on the north.
It's great. There's people just everywhere. And of course, everyone needs a bathing suit because they're all going to be at the beach.
The atmosphere is super electric, super all-American, proud to be an American. God bless America. Get out of your bed, get on down here, come wave your flag and see the Shell Air and Sea Show, 1997.
Across the street on the beach, some people are already scoping out spots for the big show.
I think the beach setting is great for any show, especially watching the girls.
And again, traffic is going to be very heavy this weekend because of the crowds and the road closures. Organizers are urging people to use their park and ride service out of Holiday Park on Sunrise Boulevard. Other than that, they're urging folks to pile on that sunblock because the weather looks great. Live at the National Jet Center in Fort Lauderdale, I'm Juan Mendieta, 7 News.
Thank you, Juan. No doubt Bill Kamala is going to talk about the sun. There is this hotline you can call for more information on the Air and Sea Show. That number on your screen, area code 954-527-5600. That is extension 88.
Now, time for 7 Weather with Bill Kamal.
And you are seeing scenes from our brand new helicopter, 7 Skyforce, taking pictures of a shower over Dade County, just south of Miami, affecting parts of Homestead and Florida City. Much of central and south Dade County had the clouds and a couple of showers this evening. Some of them will be diminishing during the evening hours, but you'll get wet in parts of Dade for the next hour or so. Look at this, 50 in Pittsburgh, almost 80 in Washington, warm air streaming up the eastern seaboard. 2 big storm systems, one in the east and one in the west, we're going to have to contend with for the nation over the next couple of days, and it's the one in the west that'll be affecting our weather just in time for the weekend, especially on Sunday. But first things first, storm number 1. Look at all these ferocious thunderstorms from Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia and even into New York and all the way down to Virginia Beach. Severe thunderstorm watch is out for a large area of real estate up and down the eastern seaboard this evening. 83 here, mostly sunny, but very sticky with that light wind out of the east, then sometimes out of the south at about 7 miles an hour. Some showers and thunderstorms, there they are. 7 Skyforce caught them near Homestead and points west. more in the Gulf of Mexico, but those will be diminishing. High pressure to our north. There's an area of troughiness over South Florida, otherwise summer-like. We may see a brief shower again tomorrow, but this storm system in the Midwest with its front will get closer to us, of all things, by the end of the weekend. Until then, enough sunshine tomorrow to prompt that 12 UV on a scale of 15, so have that sunscreen with you. Showers diminishing and ending, warm and humid tonight, 74 sticky degrees, partly sunny, mid to upper 80s tomorrow. Can't rule out an afternoon storm. Winds light, becoming east to southeast, surface up to 80. A slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm Saturday, a better chance on Sunday. Lynn.
Thank you very much, Bill. Well, today officially marks the first day of nesting season for sea turtles. One of the first turtle nests was spotted today, in fact, in Naples. Turtle trackers mark the nest, but say they're very concerned because beachfront residents leave their lights on at night, and that scares them away.
One South Florida hotel employee has a clean conscience when she turns in thousands of dollars she uncovered in a hotel laundry chute. The Intercontinental Hotel worker discovered $150,000 last night and immediately reported her find. Right now, police are trying to find out just how that money got there and who it belongs to.
We are learning tonight there has apparently been some sort of development in the case involving 3 kids kicked out of their Catholic school after their parents refused to allow them to attend some sort of sex ed class. Kelly Mitchell getting more details for us tonight from the news desk. Kelly?
And Lynn, this is the first of 2 stories breaking out of Broward right now. We'll go with the information that you're first talking about. This is the flap between St. Bartholomew's Catholic Church and School and the Anderson family. The Anderson family had pulled their 3 kids out of there, 2 boys and a girl, because of this family life class that's offered as part of the curriculum. It also, as part of that class, offers sex ed. Well, the Anderson family didn't want their children in there. They took the Archdiocese of Miami to court today. An agreement was reached by the Archdiocese and the Anderson family, basically saying that the kids do not have to attend the sex ed portion of the family life class. They can be readmitted to St. Bart's School, and we don't have any word on when that might happen, but they've been being taught at home for the past month now. So a resolution in the case involving St. Bart's and the Anderson family. And here is the second story. This one is coming out of Pompano Beach. What we have here, what we're working, is an attempted murder-suicide. A female victim. The male is the one who committed suicide. He is dead, obviously, by virtue of the suicide. The female is in, I'm trying to check here and see if we can get a condition. Yes, critical condition. She's going to North Broward General Hospital. We don't know exactly the circumstances, whether there had been a fight prior to this, whether perhaps this woman had a restraining order, but we do know there is an attempted murder-suicide in Pompano Beach. As soon as we can get you video or more information, we will do so. I'm Kelly Mitchell, live at the 7 News Desk.
All right, Kelly, thank you very much.
Still to come tonight from the 7 Newsplex, we are going to show you the money again, this time how you can get money even if you're not on the list. We are coming back with this one at 6.
In HealthCast, new findings regarding the side effects from some antidepressants.
And the latest on that massacre in Miramar. 4 family members, including an infant, murdered. Don't go away.
7 News brought to you in part by Hialeah Racetrack Super Season 97. What a beautiful way to spend the day at classic Hialeah Park. The tradition continues. Great thoroughbred racing at historic Hialeah Park. The colors, the pageantry, the excitement, a wide array of foods. It all starts at 1:15. So what are you waiting for? Head for Hialeah and get racing.
The only place in South Florida to bet and see the Kentucky Derby, Hialeah Park.
You know, I don't really think of myself as a leader, but I know this. I have never just sat down and waited for something to happen. I think you have to take action, take care of yourself. That's why when my health insurance premiums kept getting higher and higher, I called AvMed. I'd heard about AvMed Medicare Preferred. I know they have top doctors. I know they offer full coverage at the best hospitals in South Florida. And I know that with AvMed Medicare Preferred, there's no monthly plan premium, not one single dime. But the one thing I didn't know is that AvMed Medicare Preferred even pays for 80% if you ever want to go outside of their network. They were the first Medicare HMO in Florida to give you that kind of choice. But you won't get it if you just sit there and wait. So call AvMed Medicare Preferred. They'll answer all your questions, and it'll only take you a few minutes. There's no obligation except for your obligation to do the smartest thing for yourself.
Hi, this is Bob from FPL. Stay tuned to the news for your FPL tip of the day.
You know, a little-known fact that you can shake a can of baked beans and hear how good they taste. Leading brand. New Van Camp's old-fashioned baked beans. Oh, substantially quieter due to your thick sauce made with rich molasses and real smokehouse bacon. Reminds me of the beans Mom makes. They're made when I lived at home, which I don't anymore. New Van Camp's old-fashioned baked beans. Shake them, hear how good they taste.
Right now, you're the artist and your house is the canvas because it's time for the Builder Square Paint the Town sale, where you'll find all the paint, ladders, and brushes you'll need to turn your home into a masterpiece. During our sale, save up to 30% on selected items in the paint department. For instance, a gallon of Glidden Spread satin paint is just $9.97.
And the Cuprum 6-foot fiberglass stepladder can give you a leg up at just $45.98.
Brush up on your painting skills and get ready for the Paint the Town sale. Going on now at Builder Square, getting America squared away.
7 News brought to you in part by Builder Square.
That is 7 News at 5:30.
Don't go away. 7 News at 6. Just getting started.
Live from the 7 News Flex tonight at 6 o'clock. A triple shooting. Victim shot execution style at a West Dade warehouse. A massacre in Miramar. Who would slaughter an entire family? Cops searching for clues. Police hoping a surveillance tape will lead them to the suspects in this shooting at the Broward Mall. Kids soaking up the sun, ignoring the dangers. Some tanning truths you need to know. And we aren't through yet, South Florida. Keep collecting your cash. We'll show you the money. 7 News at 6 begins now. Live from South Florida's news station, WSVN-7. This is 7 News at 6 o'clock. First, a security guard is shot outside the Broward Mall while trying to catch a shoplifting suspect. Then, a massacre in Miramar. 2 women and 2 children murdered. And now, a triple shooting inside a West Dade warehouse. 3 people gunned down execution style. Tonight, 7 News has the very latest on a violent and bloody 24 hours in South Florida.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Rick Sanchez.
And I'm Kelly Mitchell. That triple murder is just the latest very vicious crime to strike South Florida.
A multiple murder that police officers say has capped a bloody 24 hours in South Florida. Police are saying the 3 men were shot execution style in a warehouse near Miami International Airport. Let's get right to the scene. And 7's Craig Gropper. Craig, what do you know?
Rick, mysterious circumstances out here at this hour. This much is clear. Sometime late last night or early this morning, 3 men who worked in the warehouse right behind me were brutally slain. Who did it? Why did it happen? Those are the questions cops are trying to answer. Those are the questions friends and family of the victims desperately need answered. Coming together to cope with the unimaginable. Friends and family of the victims grieving at the edge of the crime scene.
Seeing this, it really hits you hard.
The 3 men were found murdered in their place of business. Raul Del Castillo, the owner of Raul Distributors, his son Alberto, and Manny Morales, a man who rented office space in the building. According to their friends, they were all shot to death. Raul's hands were tied. His mouth was taped. Alberto was laying on his stomach.
I talked to the brother. He's totally in shock like we all are, you know. It's still hard for me to believe. I mean, honestly, I'm sitting here and it doesn't seem real.
Family of the victims became worried about the men last night. The 3 were working late, but they didn't answer their phones or pagers. Raul's other son came to the warehouse to see what was going on at about 3 in the morning. That's when the deceased were discovered.
There is just no reason imaginable to anyone here why this should have happened. None whatsoever. It makes no sense.
Police spent their day collecting evidence. They took pictures. They dusted for fingerprints. There's no sign of a break-in, and nothing was stolen. People who work in the area say this couldn't have been a robbery. They insist robberies don't happen here.
Never. Not in this area. Now, we are 24 hours open.
The Del Castillos distributed electronics and appliances. Morales imported cigars from Central America. All the victims are remembered as hard-working businessmen, devoted to their families. Alberto Del Castillo's wife delivered their second child just a few months ago.
They're very nice people, big hearts. It's just a shock to all of us.
I cannot imagine why that happened, man. He's sad, you know. He's very sad.
Back out now live. Detectives are still in that warehouse. This is still an active crime scene. It must be ugly on the inside. We understand the victims were not only shot, they were also stabbed. In West 8, I'm Craig Gropper, 7 News.
Thank you, Craig. Another hideous scene. This massacre at this home in Miramar leaves 2 women and 2 children dead. We do now have the 911 call tonight. Lynn Gordon is working this one for us. Lynn?
Kelly, not only are we hearing that 911 tape for the very first time, we are also finding out exactly how the victims died. Originally, it was thought that all 4 victims may have died from gunshot wounds, but tonight we are finding something different. The 2 adult women, we are told, did indeed die of gunshot wounds, but the 2 young children were actually beaten to death. This is something the family members simply cannot fathom. Devastated relatives cry out in pain, consoling each other with hugs and prayer. The family still trying to understand why someone would murder 4 of their loved ones, including 2 small children.
They were nice and kind to everyone, church-going and hardworking.
The family was found murdered inside their Miramar home early yesterday evening. 29-year-old Maria Carmel Altador, her mother, and Maria's 2 young children. 6-week-old Sabrina Altador found dead in a bassinet. Police later discovered her 3-year-old sister Samantha behind a couch in the living room.
She was found in a corner between a couch and a chair down by an air conditioner intake. We don't know how she got there, or if she may have been hiding, or if she may have been placed there, or if she may have been killed there. We just don't know at this time.
George Altador, the little girl's father and Carmel's husband, arrived home yesterday after hearing the horrifying news. Altador had called his brother-in-law from work to go check on the family because no one was answering the phone at his home.
When I saw the baby in the crib, the little infant in the crib, and the grandmother in the kitchen, face down in a pool of blood, all I could do is to grab my son and went to the neighbor's house to call the police.
That call to 911 made from a neighbor's house just moments later.
911, do you need police, fire, or paramedics? Police. And what address? Okay, what's wrong there? We're going to need an ambulance also. Okay, what's wrong there? Okay, the next door neighbor. Okay, he just found out that an infant and an old lady has just passed away. An infant or an old lady? Both. Do you know how they passed away? No, he does not know. He said he just took a look and there's a pool of blood. Okay, stay in line for the paramedics. Do not hang up.
Now, at this hour, investigators are still inside the home processing the crime scene and collecting evidence, but we still have no suspects and no motive. We are live in Miramar. I'm Lynn Gordon, 7 News.
Thank you, Lynn. Now a story you saw unfold right here yesterday. About this time, a security guard shot outside the Broward Mall. John Turchin following this one for us. John?
All right, right now we are at Broward General Medical Center where that security guard is. First, let's update you on his condition. He is in the intensive care unit in critical condition with a bullet lodged still inside of his stomach and another one in his neck just below his jaw. He has undergone 2 surgeries, both considered successful at this point. Meantime, he is getting plenty of support from friends and fellow workers from Sears and from family members, some of whom we spoke with exclusively at their home just a little while ago.
It was senseless and it was stupid, and he was down. I mean, we shot him again. You know, like he's a dog, and he's not a dog. No one is a dog.
A sister's anger matched only by her faith.
He's not the person.
For now, their prayers have been answered. Their brother Anthony has survived surgery. The entry would be right about here. This is the soft tissues of the neck. The neck is here.
Where did it lodge?
And then it rises right up to here, and if you get a good close view of it, you can see the fragments of the shell right up here. 27-year-old Anthony Wins took 2 bullets, one to the neck, the other to the stomach.
These are large caliber bullets. They're 38 or 9 millimeters. I really can't be sure, but they look like 38s. He has a full slug in them on both of them, not just fragments, shell casings.
If they would interfere in the normal bodily functions of the patient, we may remove them. Otherwise, they just have some scar tissue come over them and they're left alone and nothing actually happens.
Wins was rushed into the emergency room just minutes after he tried to stop a couple of shoplifters from getting away. A security camera at the Sears in the Broward Mall captures the suspects, first inside, then outside. That's when Wins, a 10-year employee of Sears, confronted them. The man opens fire, firing off 5 shots, hitting Wins twice, then running to a waiting car and taking off.
I think generally the public is a little concerned at the fact that this happened in broad daylight over such an insignificant item like a razor. These people are going out there and they have no regard for human life, and over a razor, he went ahead and withdrew a pistol and fired 5 shots at somebody.
Anthony is one of 11 children. One of his sisters fighting back tears as she struggles to explain the type of person her brother is. A hard worker, an honest person who fights for what he believes, whose fight this time, she admits, nearly cost him his life and much more.
She just lost her father. My father loves her very much. And I know that's the only reason why he's still fighting, because of her.
A 2-year-old girl unaware of what has happened to her daddy. Now, at this point, it appears that Anthony Wynn's injuries are not life-threatening, though doctors are quick to point out, at least at this point, that the next 24 to 48 hours are critical to his recovery. As for the investigation, still no arrest, though detectives are telling us they are confident they're going to be able to bring in those culprits possibly later tonight. We'll keep you posted. Live in Fort Lauderdale, I'm John Turchin, 7 News.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Yet another story that we're following for you since 5:30. Police are on the scene of an attempted murder-suicide in Pompano Beach. We are told the woman was shot in the neck at the home on Northwest 20th Court. According to our information, she is in critical condition right now. Police say the man, who was apparently her boyfriend, killed himself. Officers say the woman may have been abducted from Palm Beach County yesterday. If we get any more details on this story, what we're going to do is turn it around and bring it to you right away. Also an attempted kidnapping in Kendall, sending a man back to jail. Police say Juan Rodriguez had just gotten out of jail yesterday when he grabbed a woman boarding a Metro bus, pulling her baby from her arms. The mother and Rodriguez's brother stopped him and held him until security guards arrived. In court today, a judge set bond for Rodriguez at $25,000. His prior arrest was for battering his wife.
Castro government gives workers the day off so they can pack the streets instead in the annual May Day parade. Castro himself walks as thousands gathered at Revolutionary Square in Havana. They were asked to carry signs with political slogans, and they were led in patriotic songs. For several years, May Day had been canceled in Cuba, all over the fear of disturbances. It was held again this year so the government could show solidarity as well as to protest U.S. policy.
Other stories that we are going to bring you tonight, a lot happening. Parents of Jean-Benet Ramsey speaking out in public for the first time, this after being interviewed by police yesterday. Senior reporter Mark Ludner, the only local reporter on the scene there in Boulder, Colorado, will join us with the latest.
Whoever it is who killed him was riding with Satan.
You're watching a frustrated Bill Cosby talking about his son's murder and new reports about what happened the night of his killing.
Also, we've been warned about the dangers of the sun, but how about tanning booths? Can they be dangerous as well? Well, we have the tanning truths for you.
Claim your cash yet? It might be right in this vault waiting for you. Don't miss out. We'll show you the money when 7 News at 6 comes right back.
7 News brought to you in part by Mullinex Ford, your one-price volume discounter, and by El Dorado Furniture, a family working for your family.
At Mullinex Ford in Margate, it only takes $5 down to put you in the driver's seat of a brand new Ranger XLT for just $208 a month. That's right, just $5 down and you're driving a 97 Ranger pickup with cast aluminum wheels, air conditioning, AM/FM stereo with CD player, sliding rear window, and much, much more. Yours on a 2-year lease for just $208 a month after a down payment of only $5. Shop the largest selection of Rangers in the Southeast and choose the color you want for just $5 down at Mullinex Ford South in Margate.
The 12-hour sale at El Dorado. More advantages than ever. The 12-hour sale at El Dorado. It's this Saturday only. More hours and more savings. Plus 12 months free of payments and interest. The 12-hour sale at El Dorado. 12 hours of the greatest reductions. 12 hours to select your dream furniture. More hours and more savings. More of a sale than ever. 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. this Saturday only. The 12-hour sale exclusively at all El Dorado furniture showrooms.
So, you're not on the list. Can you still have cash coming? Join us. We'll show you the money coming up.
Greetings from the future, where everything we use works better. That's my mom and dad. Moisturizer works better. But there's one thing we use that you can use. A wireless phone from Primeco. The static and interference you guys put up with? Not a problem. And when we order pizza, yeah, with extra cheese. If it doesn't come in 3 seconds, 3, 2, 2.
Primeco. Someday, everything will work this well. For me, winning the title of Miss Florida USA is just the beginning. It's the first step towards my career. To meet new people, to gain self-confidence. The prizes are great. And who knows, you just may be the next Miss USA. I never thought I would be Miss Florida USA until I called the Pageant Hotline. The opportunity of a lifetime awaits. It can happen to you. Call 1-800-USA-FLA-1 to win.
Show you the money. South Florida has been buzzing about this one all week long. Have people come up and ask you about this
Oh,
one?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know why we say that? Because it's really fun to say. Guess why else? Because we really can show you the money. $400 million just sitting there. We found out about it, so we send our investigative team to find out some more for you. And they have. Patrick Frazier heading that group for us, joining us again live. Patrick?
Yeah, Rick, and tonight the news gets even better. You can get money even if your name is not on the list. How? From a relative. For example, we started tracking one man who had $42,000 coming to him. He never told anyone about the account, but now his family, thanks to our investigation, has a big surprise coming.
Your name could be here. One of a million South Floridians owed a piece of the $400 million jackpot. The average payout, about $600, but it can reach thousands. We noticed Eric Hoffman's name because he has more than $42,000 coming to him. The list says this is Hoffman's last known address here in Miami Beach. We checked it out.
Eric Hoffman, sound familiar?
What's the apartment number you said?
426.
No, not associated with that apartment, no.
In fact, we couldn't find anyone here who had ever heard of Eric Hoffman. Now, it could be the state had the wrong address or he didn't leave a forwarding address. So our next step was to go to the phone book to see if any Hoffman in South Florida had ever heard of Eric Hoffman.
We called every Hoffman in the Dade-and-Broward book, spelled Hoffmann.
They couldn't find his address, I guess.
We even searched the internet for Hoffmans around the world. Lots of responses, but no Eric Hoffman of Miami Beach, Florida.
Then we had another thought. Maybe we couldn't find Eric Hoffman because he's dead. So we came to the county health department and found out, yes, he is. He died 10 years ago. So we looked for his next of kin, his son, John Hoffman. He died 8 years ago. But we did find John Hoffman's wife.
She was living in Israel, so we wrote her this letter, and she called us right away.
Treasure, yeah. As if I found a treasure. And it was a surprise, a good surprise, but I was skeptic about it. And I still am.
Don't be skeptical, Rena. It's true. She told us Eric Hoffman was not exactly a rich guy or anything, but he had a rich history. He was among the last Jews to escape Nazi Germany in 1939. He came to Michigan, got a job at the Ford Assembly Line in Detroit, and worked there for years. Hoffman then retired to Miami Beach, played the stock market a little bit, and put some of his money in what used to be Washington Savings of Miami Beach, an account that grew to $42,880, an account that everyone forgot. And that's another angle to explore in your treasure hunt. Check for relatives. In the vault, a Mike Wallace left a safety deposit box filled with cash. Now it sits waiting for a relative of his to claim it.
So chances are he's dead. A relative will get this, if you can find him.
If we can find them, that's correct. And you can give us the name of your aunts and your uncles and your father and your mother if they're deceased, and who knows, there may be a property in the computer system here waiting for you to come along and to discover.
Check your relatives. That's what led us to Rena. Now her family will get a nice, unexpected check for more than $48,000.
My children know that I have a little bit from their grandfather. They will probably like it, and they will love to have it.
Truthfully, we're finding a lot of these companies don't do a very good job of tracking down people, so you check your relatives. Now, in a few minutes, we'll show you some more names, and if you can't wait, get in touch with us, call us, or head over to our homepage and check out your relatives yourself. And by the way, be prepared for the phones to be busy. This week, we're told 20,000 people are trying to call us at the same time. So if you get a busy signal or some of that crazy phone stuff, don't worry, we're here. It just takes time to get to us. We'll be back in a few minutes with the names of those people, and we'll show you the money. Rick and Kelly?
Wow, it's an amazing story. Patrick, I'm curious, do they get the money from the bank or do they get the money from the state?
It varies. In most cases, it's turned over to the state, and the state has it in an account, and they forward it to you after you fill out the proper form. Sometimes the banks retain it, and they just notify the state that they have the money.
I see. Great stuff. Good job.
We're only asking because, of course, we're not getting any of that money, so we don't know.
You want to share in the joys of others.
That's right, vicariously. Still to come from the Newsplex tonight, a militia group talking again with negotiators. The question is, could there be a surrender anytime soon? We'll take you live to West Texas for this one.
I'm Marilyn Mitchell in the Health Center. Is it really possible to get a safe tan? Find out in my special assignment report, Tanning Truths. Straight ahead, only on 7.
Also, could a popular laxative cause cancer? Details on a startling new discovery.
Closed caption brought to you in part by City Furniture, the ultimate furniture store.
It's that beautiful time of year. And your Health Mart pharmacist has all the right products to set you straight again. Because at Health Mart, everyday savings are nothing to sneeze at. What is it you like about Health Mart?
Well, there's antacids, generic film, diapers, deodorant, vitamins, mouthwash, heating pads, toothpaste, pain relievers, cough syrup, cotton fluff, and of course, Mr. Campbell.
Health Mart, savings you like on the products you need.
Fox May events Friday. It craves one thing. Meat. The feast begins on an all-new Sliders, then a millennium.
There will be another attack.
It's part of the ritual. In the battle between good and evil, he's our only hope. An all-new millennium. You got the power to stop this.
I know I've got the power!
An all-new millennium. It all starts Friday at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
With a powerful V6 engine, power windows, aluminum wheels, automatic transmission, AC, and a sleek new design, the 1997 Ford Taurus sells for as low as $16,167. That's $3,000 less than a comparably equipped Camry. It's a special May offering. Totally equipped, totally affordable. So where do you find value? Drive the 97 Ford Taurus at your South Florida Ford dealer today.
Good day, furniture buyer. Your mission is to save thousands of dollars during Carl's Furniture Impossible Sale. Your assignment, should you decide to accept, is to buy Bernhardt at half price. Buy one piece, get the second half price. It's unbelievable. It's unheard of. It sounds impossible, but it's true. You only have a few hours to accomplish this spectacular money-saving mission at Carl's Impossible Sale. Good luck.
Now, time for 7 weather with Bill Kamal.
Partly sunny at the airport, 81 at 6 o'clock, but the muggies have returned. And with that, some shower activity, mainly in South Dade, but a couple of showers now in North Dade and parts of Southwest Broward. They'll be there for the next couple of hours. One storm system in the Plain States, that front will get close to us on the weekend, unfortunately. The other big one now causing some huge storms from Washington, D.C. to New York City. For us, we're going to keep a lot of sunshine in the forecast with an increasing chance of showers on the weekend. Warm and humid tonight, the showers will end. Tomorrow, mid to upper 80s, partly sunny. Can't rule out a thunderstorm. Light winds becoming variable, then east to southeast. The better chance of rain on the weekend will be Sunday. Not a washout, but the chance is there. Rick and Kelly.
All right, Bill, thank you.
In their quest for the deep, dark tan, a lot of people are frying under South Florida's scorching rays.
And, you know, sometimes the sun isn't even enough. Teenagers are often heading to those tanning booths on top of that. Health specialist Marilyn Mitchell has some tanning truths she says we all should know, and she's in the health center tonight with those. Marilyn?
Kelly, we all know better, but doctors say the truth is many of us are out and out ignoring the dangers of the sun, especially teenagers. Experts say it seems that most have just stopped caring. In the meantime, the medical community is horrified as emergency room visits from sunburned kids are soaring.
By now, we all know
know how harmful the sun can be. It can cause terrible damage.
They range from mild wrinkling of the skin, freckling of the skin, on to the development of skin cancers.
But that's not stopping many of us.
I like the sun, so if it's a little bit of a burn, it's all good. It'll be tan by the time I get there.
You only live once.
I like to look tan. I like color. I don't like being pale.
In fact, health experts say the hottest thing this summer among teens is a deep, dark, dangerous tan. They're back to full-scale frying, dousing themselves with everything from Crisco to baby oil, trying to get as dark as they can. It's not just outdoor tanning that's making a comeback, so are indoor tanning booths. They're more popular than ever, even though there is a pile of research that shows they're even more dangerous for us than the sun.
No sun is really safe.
Unfortunately, that's the bottom line.
If you want your skin to look its best for as long as possible, you will be in avoidance of sunlight as much as possible.
While it's impossible to totally stay out of the sun, there are things we can do to help protect ourselves. First and foremost, slather on the sunscreen. Use a lot of it and often.
Sunscreens definitely help. And don't forget, put your sunscreen on your face, your ears, back of your neck, the V of the chest that's always exposed, and the tops of our hands.
But I always use 15 on my face.
Number 8, I think. Yeah, number 8.
Well, I have 30 on.
SPF numbers can be confusing, but there is a simple solution.
The numbers are meaningful, but sometimes misleading. Theoretically, one only needs to use the number 15 sunscreen.
Use it every day as your body lotion all over. Other tips when outdoors, wearing protective clothing like hats and long-sleeve shirts. Most important, avoid peak sun hours. They are from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
I always tell people, if you can see the sun can see you, and that damage will occur.
Now, if you still insist on having a suntan, do try self-tanning lotions. They have greatly improved over the years. There's plenty to choose from, and there is no risk of cancer. A final word of advice, if you notice any changes on your skin, a mole that's changing in color, size, or shape, see a dermatologist immediately. That could be a sign of skin cancer. On special assignment, I'm Marilyn Mitchell, 7 News.
We broke the story yesterday that police decided that a police officer, one of their own, in South Beach, had fired his gun during a murder. Not that he committed the murder, but that he had fired his gun.
And that information has led to another development involving this police officer. Patrick Frazier at the news desk with more on this.
Yeah, the next step, Rick and Kelly, the logical step, Shay Dunbar, the Metro-Dade police officer, has been arrested and charged with the shooting death of Diego Argaaz. Lionel Coelho has also been arrested. Now, as you know, this happened a couple of weeks ago. Dunbar, in his black Blazer truck, was driving away from the club after a confrontation. He now has been charged with the shooting death of Diego Argaaz. He was charged not with first-degree murder, but with second-degree murder and also the use of a weapon during a felony. Now, he has been suspended with pay. He will likely be suspended now without pay once he has been charged by the state attorney's office. That's a developing story. Police are going to be speaking to us later this evening. We will let you know more about it.
So it would lead us to conclude, Patrick, that one of his bullets was found in this murder victim then, huh?
I would suspect that he or Mr. Coelho, both have been charged with second-degree murder. Which one pulled the trigger? Maybe until the trial before we know that one, or maybe tonight. We'll talk to the
Patrick,
cops
do you know
tonight.
if the officer's been taken into custody, or is he still free? Or?
No, this just came into us just a couple of moments ago. Jesus got this in just a moment ago on the desk. We'll follow this one right up.
Big development. All right. Thanks a lot. Patrick Frazier following that story for us. One we'll obviously get back out on.
We'll be back.
7 Weather, brought to you in part by FPL.
Hi, I'm Bob from FPL.
Hi, Bob.
Hey, what makes you cranky?
I'm not cranky.
Yeah, I can tell. You know, some people, when they go home in the summer, they crank down their thermostat so low, and they think it's going to cool their home faster. Well, it doesn't. You probably wouldn't do that, would you?
No, I wouldn't use that. I would use a programmable thermostat.
Hey, how'd you know I was going to say that? I'm a big advocate of programmable thermostats.
Okay, well...
You know, because it controls your temperature 24 hours a day. For more ways to save money and energy, just call us for a free home energy survey. Who wants to be worrying about the temperature in your home, right?
That's right.
You know, it'll just make you,
Cranky.
Cranky.
Big roach problem? Now, roaches have a big problem. Introducing Combat Plus. 1 box, 2 ways to kill them.
Gel gets them where they come in. Baits cover the rest. It's the best solution. New Combat Plus, the ultimate weapon against roaches.
We are a nation of drivers, united by highways, main streets, and dirt roads. We love our cars. Funny how we never loved buying them.
The 6 cylinders that's got your name on it. How beautiful it is.
Until now. Welcome, citizens, to AutoNation USA, where you're free to choose, free to consider, free to feel good about your choice, whether you know cars or not. AutoNation USA, the better way to buy a car.
Hi, I'm David Novak, the president of Pizza Hut, and I'm here to tell you about our totally new pizzas. From top to bottom, we're going to make the best pizza we've ever made, and I'm going to make the first one.
When you have lots of tomatoes, that helps you make a thick, rich sauce.
Show me the cheese. See this? Meteor sausage, meteor pepperoni. All of our veggies are fresh, sliced real thick. Who makes them this thick?
Grandma does.
Grandma does. This is what great pizza is all about. What do you think? We'll make you a large pizza with not one, but 2 of our incredible new toppings for just $9.99.
And I'm Patrick Fraser live where we want to show you the money, the people getting that money. Let's go straight to the names right here. Watch closely. This could be you right there. A lot of people watching 7 News this week have seen their name roll across the screen. One woman saw her sister's name. She now has $55,000 coming to her. This is like winning a small lottery. Nearly 1 million South Floridians have money coming to them, and most of them don't even know it. Maybe it was a refund from the power company, or maybe a relative who opened an account and never told anyone, and that money is just showing up years later. Look for the relative's name. Keep it on 7 News. We'll have more names coming up. Also, we have other ways you can check. Our phone line, our computers are open. Give us a call. We're backed up. We have 20,000 calls coming in at a time, but we'll get to you, and we'll show you the money.
All right, Patrick, thank you.
It has been a busy day thus far. That's our share at 6.
And now we go to Newsplex and Pam Giganti to see what you'll see at 6:30. Pam?
Kelly and Rick, tonight, JonBenet Ramsey's parents have gone public with their claims of innocence. We are covering this one live from Boulder, Colorado. It's lights out as the government takes action to end the standoff in Texas. And in Hellcast, find out how the location of your children's school could affect their education. The stories and more. Lynn Martinez joins me next. 7 News at 6:30.
7 News, brought to you in part by Mazda. Passion for the road.
The 97 Mazda 626LX Special Edition. Lease for $229. Add rich leather and the lease goes to. Add air and a silky automatic and the lease cruises to. Add power everything and the lease rolls to. Add the best basic warranty in its class and you get the idea. Lease or buy for $17,895.
Pan Am's early bird sale. Fly Miami to San Juan from $99. Miami to New York from $99. Miami to Chicago from $89. Call 1-800-FLY-PAN AM.
Tonight's the series finale of Martin, so what's Tisha Campbell gonna do now? I'm Belkis Naray. Find out what's next for Tisha tonight on Deco Drive Live at 7:30.
You know, some kids think it's cool to drink.
And some think you have to get drunk to have a good time. You don't have to drink. You have a choice.
I'm 7's Pam Giganti. It's not worth throwing your life away, so think before you drink.
Be the solution, not a statistic.
Call 1-800-334-4568 and stop teenage alcohol abuse.
Live from South Florida's news station, WSVN-7. This is 7 News at 6:30.
You may be eluding the authorities for a time, but God knows who you are, and we will find you.
It is a parent's promise. The mother and the father of JonBenet Ramsey breaking their silence for the first time since being questioned by police. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, John and Patsy Ramsey are talking about the death of their daughter.
And they are saying many things about this case. Senior reporter Mark Ludner is live in Boulder, Colorado with the details. Mark?
Pam, the Ramseys deny killing their child. John Ramsey denies molesting his child in an invitation-only session with a small group of news people at a secret location here in Boulder. The Ramseys say they understand why they have been under suspicion, and they think the killer someday will be caught.
To those of you who may want to ask, let me address very directly, I did not kill my daughter, JonBenet.
But let me assure you that I did not kill JonBenet. I did not have anything to do with it. I love that child with my whole of my heart and soul.
The Ramseys said they didn't kill their 6-year-old daughter, and they expressed confidence whoever did kill JonBenet would be caught.
We'll find you. We will find you. I have that as a sole mission for the rest of my life.
For weeks now, the supermarket tabloids have kept public suspicion firmly fixed on the parents, especially Patsy Ramsey.
And frankly, we were, as you might imagine, insulted.
We feel like there are at least 2 people on the face of this earth that know who did this. And that is the killer and someone that person may have confided in.
The Ramseys said they had not been notified that they had been cleared. The local DA recently said the focus of the investigation is on them.
You know, at first we were shocked and then outraged, and then we understood statistically that's a sad state of affairs. That's apparently in the majority of cases like this in our country, family members or parents are ultimately involved.
In today's session with a small group of hand-picked news people, Mrs. Ramsey said she often talked with her late daughter.
We feel like God has a master plan for all of us, and that in the fullness of time, our family will be united again, and we will see JonBenet.
Off limits during today's session between the Ramseys and the hand-picked group of reporters. Questions about what it was police wanted to know during yesterday's day-long questioning, and questions about what exactly the Ramseys were doing the night of the murder. Police are reacting, meanwhile, to today's interview session by saying they have no reaction. Mark Lundner, 7 News, reporting live from Boulder, Colorado.
Big developments tonight in the case of a shooting death of a man on South Beach. We are learning tonight a Metro-Dade police officer has been arrested.
Patrick Frazier has been following this story. He is now at the news desk with more tonight. Patrick?
Yeah, this is just coming into us, Lynn. More information since we spoke to you a few moments ago. A man who's used to putting people behind bars is tonight himself behind bars. Metro-Dade police officers Shay Dunbar and Lionel Coelho are accused of shooting Diego Argaiz to death on Miami Beach. Now, according to Miami Beach police, there was a confrontation outside the club. It was a verbal altercation. Then the victim threw a bottle at Dunbar's vehicle. According to Miami Beach police, Dunbar then responded by firing several rounds as Argaiz was attempting to seek cover. While this was happening, the co-defendant, Lionel Coelho, also fired several rounds. One of those bullets hit Argaiz and killed him. Again, a Metro-Dade police officer has been arrested and charged with second-degree murder. We'll have more for you coming up at 10 o'clock. From the news desk, Patrick Frazier, 7 News.
All right, Patrick, thank you very much. New developments in another big story here in South Florida tonight. 2 adults and 2 children found murdered inside their Miramar home. Tonight we are learning how they died and also hearing a 911 call made after the murders. 7's Lynn Gordon is live on the scene with more tonight. Lynn?
Lynn, cops are finally releasing that 911 tape. They're also telling us how all 4 victims died. We now know that the 2 adult women were shot to death and also died from blunt trauma. The 2 little children were actually beaten to death. Now, devastated relatives gathered today. They just cannot imagine who would want to kill the Altador family. 4 victims were discovered inside their Miramar home late yesterday afternoon. George Altador had called from work to check on his family, and no one was answering the phone at home. So he sent his brother-in-law over to check on them. Inside the house, Altador's wife, mother-in-law, 3-year-old daughter, and 6-week-old infant were found murdered. A neighbor called 911.
911, do you need police, fire, or paramedics?
Police.
Or what address? See what's wrong there?
We're going to need an ambulance also.
Okay, what's wrong there?
Okay, the next door neighbor. Okay, he just found out that an infant and an old lady has just passed away.
An infant or an old lady?
Both.
Do you know how they passed away?
No, he does not know. He said he just took a look and there's a pool of blood.
Okay, stand on for the paramedics. Do not hang up.
Now, investigators are still out here in Miramar. They are inside the house collecting evidence and working the crime scene. They have been out here all day long, but this is still a very big mystery. There are still no suspects and no motive. We're live in Miramar. I'm Lynn Gordon, 7 News.
All right, thank you, Lynn. 3 men are murdered execution style in a South Florida warehouse. Family members discovered the bodies early this morning in West Dade. They had gone to check on the men after they failed to come home. Tonight, people who knew the victims say they don't know why this has happened.
There is just no reason imaginable to anyone here why this should have happened. None whatsoever. It makes no sense.
They're very nice people, big hearts. It's a shock to all of us.
Detectives are still on the scene. They are saying it does not look like a robbery.
Police say they could be very close to making an arrest in the shooting of a Sears security guard at the Broward Mall. It happened yesterday. That shooting caught on this tape by a security camera. Detectives say the 27-year-old Anthony Windez was shot while trying to stop 2 shoplifting suspects. Doctors say he is still tonight in critical condition, but he is expected to make it.
A fight over a sex education class at a Miramar Catholic school appears to be over. The Archdiocese of Miami will allow the 3 Anderson kids back into St. Bartholomew School and will excuse them from sex education class. The kids were expelled after the Andersons' parents pulled them from that sex ed class. The parents were opposed to the class because of what they were calling explicit content.
After 2 days of silence, talks have finally resumed between the Texas separatist group and authorities. It is now day 5 of that standoff. Police had planned to cut off electricity to the compound tonight, but now officials say the power will stay on as long as the group continues to talk. Authorities have also brought in bloodhounds as they dig in for what could be a very lengthy standoff.
A witness in the Oklahoma bombing trial says Timothy McVeigh was looking for the parts needed to make a bomb. An arms dealer says McVeigh called him 6 months before the Oklahoma City explosion, trying to buy a bomb detonator. Later, McVeigh's second cousin took the stand, saying McVeigh mailed him a copy of the Turner Diaries. Prosecutors say the anti-government novel was the blueprint for the bombing. That blast killed 168 people and wounded hundreds more.
Straight ahead tonight from the 7 Newsplex, people in parts of the U.S. are still cleaning up after some very wicked weather.
Bill Kamal is just ahead with a look at our complete forecast. I'm Marilyn Mitchell in the Health Center. The link between a popular laxative and cancer, we're going to tell you about it in HealthCast.
And I'm Patrick Frazier. You may have $100,000 sitting in an account that a relative left you. How do you find out? Well, give us a call, 305-759-7777, or dial into our homepage, www.WSVN.com. And if the lines are busy, be patient. We're getting 20,000 calls a minute. A lot of people calling in. Stick around. We'll be back.
7 News brought to you in part by Room to Go, where you'll find bigger selection, lower prices, faster delivery. And by South Florida Ford Dealers.
$6.99. The one low price at Rooms to Go. Just $699 buys you anything you're about to see. Only $6.99 for these incredible sofa and love seat sets. Choose this 7-piece contemporary bedroom, this Southwest bedroom, or this 18th century cherry bedroom, this traditional cherry dining set, or this whitewashed wall unit. Your choice, $6.99. The one low price, $6.99. $6.99. $6.99 days at Rooms to Go. Now through Wednesday. Don't miss it.
With a powerful V6 engine, power windows, aluminum wheels, automatic transmission, AC, and a sleek new design, the 1997 Ford Taurus sells for as low as $16,167. That's $3,000 less than a comparably equipped Camry. It's a special May offering. Totally equipped, totally affordable. So where do you find value? Drive the 97 Ford Taurus at your South Florida Ford dealer today.
Mobil presents the fastest way ever invented to get gas. Mobil Speed Pass. Just wave the speed tag at your pump and it automatically bills your credit card of choice. Don't you wish you could pay for everything that fast? Speed Pass is easy. It's free and it's only at Mobil. So now friendly serve is even faster. Mobil Speed Pass, the fastest way to get gas.
Next, Inside Edition. Imagine being beaten by your husband. Imagine the fear and helplessness.
I used to have dreams and nightmares that my kids would find me laying in the hallway dead.
And what would happen if that fear for your life led you to try and kill him? This woman made history doing just that. And sunlight can kill these kids, so they're children of the night. See how one family has brought light into the lives of kids who live in darkness. Inside Edition.
Inside Edition, tonight at 7 on 7.
Now, live from the 7 Health Center, here's HealthCast with Marilyn Mitchell.
Good evening, everyone. In HealthCast, why kids and airports may not mix. But first, antidepressants and the effect that they can have on your libido.
Antidepressants like Prozac are known to sometimes reduce a person's sex drive or cause other sexual problems. Well, now researchers conclude that adverse sexual effects are the rule rather than the exception among people taking antidepressants. The latest study shows that over 75% of patients taking Prozac or Zoloft reported diminished sex drive and reduced sexual arousal. However, patients taking Wellbutrin, another antidepressant, had no adverse sexual side effects.
In other medical news, a popular laxative is linked to cancer. Also, a combination of drugs may reverse a terminal form of liver cancer. Here's Lester Strong with the rest of today's health news.
The Food and Drug Administration has new evidence linking an ingredient in laxatives to cancer in laboratory animals. The ingredient is phenolphthalein. It's found in several over-the-counter laxatives, including the popular X-Lax. Toxicologists say rats develop lymphomas after being given doses 30 times higher than the recommended dose for humans. The FDA says laxatives are safe when used as directed, but they are still concerned about the long-term use of these products. Researchers at New England Medical Center have identified an experimental drug treatment for a form of liver disease which currently has no cure. They were able to not only slow the progression of primary biliary cirrhosis, but also make some patients disease-free.
I believe even the most skeptic physician would have to be convinced that the disease has gone away, and it's been away for a long enough period of time that they're not at any risk of having to have a liver transplant, die, or anything.
Dr. Kaplan hopes this combination treatment, anchored by the drug methotrexate, will become the standard of care for this form of liver disease. We all know how distracting loud noises can be. Studies have shown that it can affect our hearing. Now, a new study shows it can also affect the child's ability to learn. Cornell University researchers found children who go to schools located near airports have poorer language and reading skills compared to children who go to schools in more quiet environments. Ironically, all of the children in the study had normal hearing. Researchers blame the noise made by the aircraft for the children's learning deficits. That's HealthCast. I'm Lester Strong.
Thank you, Lester. Coming up next tonight from the 7 Newsplex, it's another rough day for the Marlins on the road. Juices Rogers will have the highlights coming up later in 7 Video Sport.
And later tonight on Deco Drive, the show is over for Martin Lawrence. His hit sitcom is going off the air after a pretty troubled year. Deco talks to the stars to see how they're saying goodbye tonight at 7:30.
And you are looking at live pictures of our 7 News phone bank, where we are hoping to show you the money. Call us at 305-759-7777 and find out if you have cash coming to you. We're going to be answering those phones up until 11 o'clock.
If you ever go cruising through some famous expressionist painting in your Pontiac Sunfire, it looks like a work of art. It drives like a real scream. And now, it rocks. Introducing the Hard Rock Live Pontiac Sunfire with a special CD package and express pass that'll get you to the front of the line every time. Hey, what a scream, huh?
See the Dade Broward Pontiac dealer today.
Big roach problem? Now, roaches have a big problem. Introducing Combat Plus. 1 box, 2 ways to kill them. Gel gets them where they come in. Baits cover the rest. It's the best solution. New Combat Plus. The ultimate weapon against roaches.
Happy Mother's Day.
I love it. Do you love it? You got great taste.
I know.
Ross has the perfect gift for Mother's Day.
Save up to 60% on all the top brands for Mom.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Well, you may be a grandma, but you're still my girl.
Oh.
Mother's Day at Ross. Don't you just love it?
I gotta get Ross. Good job.
Fox May event. Tonight, the wildest comedy on television is slamming to an end.
How about the blow up?
It's the Martin you can't miss, and all the stars are out.
I just say, woo woo.
So say goodbye. It's the final, the very last episode of Martin. A 1-hour special tonight at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
Fox May events. A 10-year-old girl is killed. Was it an accident or murder?
Where were you when she fell? Where were you?
An all-new New York Undercover tonight.
News doesn't stop overnight, and neither does the 7 News Flash.
We're busy pulling together the stories you'll see every morning on Today in Florida. It means rushing to the scene of breaking news to let you know just what's happening, no matter where it happens.
Plus, we'll always give you your first look at today's weather and traffic.
Aggressive news coverage from the station that knows how to get the job done. 7 News, Today in Florida, every morning, beginning at 6.
Only on the news station.
7 News.
Now, time for 7 weather with Bill Kamal.
And 2 big stories today. One is the big storm in the Northeast. Severe weather now through Philadelphia, entering New York City, down to Virginia Beach. And the watches continue in effect through this evening from about New York all the way down to the eastern part of North Carolina. For us, we have a few showers around. I'll show you those on Doppler. 81 now with that east-southeast wind at 10. Very humid outside. The front, which washed out a couple of days ago, trying to come back, and there are a couple of showers across Dade. They will be weakening, also some in the Gulf of Mexico. But the other big story, not only is the storm in the Northeast the big story, another one on its heels coming into the Plain States now, the Front Range of the Rockies. That one may be affecting our weather later on in the weekend. Until then, we'll watch the big storms in the east. And for us, just a little bit of moisture now over extreme South Florida. That is probably not going to be there tomorrow, although we may see a slight chance of a shower, not as many as we saw today over South Dade. That little trottiness should move to the north. High pressure over the southeastern states, but here comes that next storm. A major severe weather outbreak tomorrow possible from the Gulf all the way to the Great Lakes. We'll have enough sunshine tomorrow to prompt a 10, though, on that UV scale, on scale of 15, so have the sunscreen with you. Early May and early August, same intensity of sunshine. Showers dissipating tonight, warm and muggy in the 70s. Tomorrow, well in the 80s, very warm and humid. Don't rule out a thunderstorm. Most places, though, will not see it. Light winds becoming east to southeast. Surf is up to 80. The best chance of showers and storms this weekend is on Sunday. Lynn and Pam.
Thank you very much, Bill. Coming up tonight from the 7 News Flex, see why Tim Chernow is the first name in skincare when it comes to sunbathing.
Yeah, this after Marilyn Mitchell just told us to stay out of the sun.
Right.
Apparently, Tim is on the beach trying to say, save your hide. We'll talk about it and look more at these pictures tonight at 7:30.
All right, I'm Steve Shapiro in Orlando. The Heat say they will close it out tonight. We'll be back with the details in 7 Video Sports.
The Festival Flea Market Mall has something for everyone, from cartoon mugs to debonair rugs, from homemade pies to thinner thighs, from curvaceous flags to fabulous bags, from a couch that's a bed to a hat for Fred, from clothes for sweat to eau de toilette, from hats of straw to ooh la la, from a new TV screen to Bling but Clean, from an awesome arcade to really cool shades. The Festival Flea Market Mall, miles of name brand merchandise at below outlet prices. Sample Road at the Turnpike, Pompano.
It's that beautiful time of year. And your Health Mart pharmacist has all the right products to set you straight again. Because at Health Mart, everyday savings are nothing to sneeze at. What is it you like about Health Mart?
Well, there's antacids, generic film, diapers, deodorant, vitamins, mouthwash, heating pads, toothpaste, pain relievers, cough syrup, cotton swabs, and of course, Mr. Campbell.
Health Mart, savings you like on the products you need.
Now at Pep Boys, get any 4 of our 35,000-mile all-season steel-belted tires at an incredible low $99. At Pep Boys, now.
Hi, I'm David Novak, the president of Pizza Hut, and I'm here to tell you about some big changes in the world of pizza. We decided we were going to make the best pizza that you've ever had. That meant changing a lot of little things, like fresh mushrooms, fresh peppers, and fresh onions. Slice them thicker so you can really crunch down into them. And better meat toppings, too, like chunkier beef and meatier sausage. We set out to make the best pizza that we've ever made. And I'm here to tell you, we are making pizza.
Only $9.99 for our new large pizza with not 1, but 2 toppings.
Tonight's the series finale of Martin, so what's Tisha Campbell gonna do now? I'm Belkis Ray. Find out what's next for Tisha tonight on Deco Drive Live at 7:30.
Imagine your child a millionaire. It's easier than you think.
It's part of being a kid in the 90s.
7's Olga Pichachi shows you a financial formula that could make your youngsters a fortune.
She's not going to settle for a life on a budget.
The simple secret to making a million. Tonight at 10 on 7 News. Time for 7 Video Sports with Deuces Rogers.
The Magic did not roll over like we expected them to in Game 3, and because of that, we must now go to Game 4. Steve Shapiro live in Orlando with the preview. Steve, any predictions?
Well, they're going to win. I always say they're going to win. Oh, look, I almost played defense on Vashawn Leonard. Hey, the Heat, they're out here shooting around. The game starts at 8 o'clock. They actually practiced today at Disney World instead of coming here to shoot around. The Heat, as you know, they let the Magic up off the canvas on Tuesday. They had them down 2-0. Now the series is 2-1. So tonight, the Heat have to stick the dagger in.
If we're going to move on, then we have to win tonight.
Tonight, not interested in going back to Miami for Game 5.
There's no reason we shouldn't be confident. We got a 2-1 lead, and we just got to come in and finish it tonight.
The Heat could have played the role of the Shark Tuesday night. They had the scent, but they didn't go in for the kill.
We felt like we gave away the game. I was up by 20. We showed we were the superior team until the middle of the second quarter, and then, the floodgates broke open. But we feel like we'll be ready tonight, and if we get up 20 tonight, I don't see us blowing a 20-point lead tonight.
The Heat got to keep what belongs to them. 20 Miami turnovers Tuesday led to 36 Orlando points. Got to protect the basketball and match the intensity that was not there in Game 3.
We took the loss in stride. It bothered us deeply, but, we got to come back and play.
I'm still mad. USC, you're going to take my frustrations out tonight in USC.
The guys are mad, and they are confident. The Heat will win tonight. By the way, if they do, they will play the Knicks at the Miami Arena on Sunday. I'm already looking forward to that. Steve Shapiro live in Orlando, 7 Sports.
All right, Steve, hope you're right. Other news, the NBA announcing its Rookie of the Year award, and the winner is Allen Iverson, the 21-year-old receiving. Actually, it looks like he's preparing for surgery with that hat. Receiving the award in Philly this afternoon, the Sixer guard averaged better than 23 points per game. Iverson has been often criticized for never meeting a shot he didn't like. In April, he went on a scoring binge, putting up 40 or more points in 5 consecutive games. Minnesota guard Stephon Marbury finished second. Baseball now, I believe it was a little girl named Dorothy who said, "There's no place like home." The Marlins 12-2 at the Pro, just 3-8 away. Yes, on the road again today in St. Louis. Alex Fernandez on the hill, bottom of 1. He gives up this single to Mark Sweeney to center. 2 runs will cross the plate. Marlins trail it 2-0. Cardinal pitcher Matt Morris pitching a gem until the 8th inning. That's when Greg Zahn takes him deep to right, a 2-run shot. Marlins now down 3-2. Top of the 9th, Dennis Eckersley gets Jeff Conine to fly out with the bases loaded. The Marlins lose 3-2 your final. More bad news. Al Leiter is not with the team today. He flew back to South Florida to reevaluate a right knee sprain. This after taking the loss last night. Leiter originally injured the knee 2 weeks ago. The team says they don't expect him to miss a start. And finally, the Fort Lauderdale Air and Sea Show is slated for this weekend, and that means the Thunderbirds are in town. Today, Panther goalie John Van Beesbrook suited up for the ride of his life. He got to fly with them. They even put his name on the side of the aircraft. Beezer going with the code name Beezer. He was up airborne for about 40 minutes, and he seemed to get a kick out of that G-force. And coming up on Sunday on Sports Extra, we'll have a special feature about John up in the sky. That'll do it for sports. Lynn and Pam back to wrap up the news right after this. Yeah.
Brought to you in part by Mazda and by Carl's Furniture for everything you love about home.
The 97 Mazda 626LX Special Edition. Lease for $229. Add rich leather and the lease goes to. Add air and a silky automatic and the lease cruises to. Add power everything and the lease rolls to. Add the best basic warranty in its class and you get the idea. Lease or buy for $17,895.
Good day, furniture buyers. Your mission is to save thousands of dollars during Carl's Furniture Impossible Sale. Your assignment, should you decide to accept, is to buy Bernhardt at half price. Buy one piece, get the second half price. It's unbelievable. It's unheard of. It sounds impossible, but it's true. You only have a few hours to accomplish this spectacular money-saving mission at Carl's Impossible Sale. Good luck.
Here's a look at what we are working on tonight for 7 News at 10. Police try to figure out who killed 2 adults and 2 children in Miramar. The night team will stay on top of this story.
Another murder mystery, the execution-style murder of 3 people inside a West Dade warehouse.
And we are taking you back live to Colorado, where the parents of murdered child beauty queen JonBenet Ramsey are facing the cameras today. Join us tonight, first at 10.
But finally tonight, store clerks could soon be a thing of the past, we hear, if a new chain of robo-shops catches on.
This taking place in Japan. Robo shops there. They sell 2,500 different products, all without a single human shop attendant. The creators originally sold lingerie and vending machines, but saw room for more practical goods like food. The shop takes care of security with a few in-house cameras.
I like that personal touch.
I do, too.
I like to touch it, too. That is 7 News at 6:30. I'm Lynn Martinez.
I'm Pam Giganti. Thanks for joining us. Stick around for Deco Drive. It's coming up tonight at 7:30.
Bye-bye.
For an event as massive as this, many are called, but few are chosen. As Live presents the Ozfest, the event of the century, May 26th at Coral Sky Amphitheater. Plus, Ozzy reunites with Black Sabbath, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler. Also, full headline sets by Pantera, Typo Negative, Fear Factory, Machine Head, Powerman 5000, and more. Tickets at Ticketmaster outlets and charged by phone. Presented by Budweiser. This bud's for you in association with Pace Touring.
The bigwigs at Baskin-Robbins, who insist we say Baskin-Robbins, demanded you know all about the new BR smoothies from Baskin-Robbins. You had to see the real fruit blended with non-fat frozen yogurt to understand they're a healthier way to enjoy Baskin-Robbins. And of course, here's proof everyone loves their fruit-tastic flavor. So now you know, we may not make the best commercials, but nobody makes a better smoothie. Oh yeah, and don't forget, nobody makes a better ice cream cake for Mother's Day either.
Our special series of reports show you the money. Tonight at 10 on 7 News.
But let me assure you that I did not kill JonBenet. I did not have anything to do with it. I love that child with my whole of my heart and soul.
Finally, we hear from Patsy and John Ramsey, the parents of the murdered beauty queen. And a San Francisco woman changes history after she'd had enough. Inside Edition from San Francisco is next.
JonBenet's parents have talked to the cops.